In this video, I'm gonna show you guys my well-tested recipe for Korean beef short ribs, or galbi. If you love grilling, but you're bored of the same old chops and burgers, this recipe is gonna serve you really well this summer. These ribs are sticky sweet, they are super tender and fatty in the good way that short ribs are, and they are beginner level easy to make. This recipe only has like 3 proper steps. To get started, I'm gonna grab 3 to 4 pounds of Korean style beef short ribs. These are also known as Flanken style short ribs, and all that means is that the entire short rib muscle has just been cut horizontally to the bones, and you can actually see the rib bones sticking out right here. Now, if you're wondering where to get these because they're kind of a unique cut of beef, I would say start at your local butcher shop because they almost certainly have whole short rib sections and, more importantly, a bandsaw, which is what it takes to cut this big chunk of beef rib into thin 1/4 inch strips. If you can't find them there, I would say look at Whole Foods because surprisingly, they almost always have them in the case, or an international grocery store. That would be a really good place to look. Now, speaking of bandsaw, since these are cross-cut, most of the time they're gonna be covered in bone gunk from the cutting process. These short ribs in particular look really, really clean, and so I don't have to go out of my way to do anything to them. But cut to a sheet tray of short ribs that I bought last week that were completely covered in powdery bone gunk. Before you cook these, you wanna rinse this off. It's probably edible because it's basically just calcium, but it doesn't taste good and it gets in the way of the meat absorbing the marinade. Next, we need to make the marinade for this beef. But also, if somehow you can't find these Flanken Cut short ribs, I would say sub in skirt steak or flank steak and just cut it into long 1/4 to 1/2 inch thick strips. Or a really good option if you're willing to switch animals is to go for pork ribs. Those would be really good. So to make this marinade into a blender, I'm gonna add 100 grams of soy sauce, 10 grams of salt, 3 grams of black pepper, 50 grams of brown sugar, 25 grams of sesame oil, 25 grams of mirin, 30 grams of garlic cloves, 10 grams of sliced ginger. I didn't peel this, by the way. It's gonna get really well pulverized in the blender. Then 100 grams of chopped onion, 50 grams of peeled and chopped kiwi, and finally 150 grams of Asian pear. Now, real quick, I just wanna clarify why I've got these 2 fruits in this marinade. Pretty much all galbi recipes universally use Asian pear because it has an enzyme that helps break down the connective tissue in these tough short ribs. In my opinion though, that enzyme isn't quite powerful enough to do the job of making these short ribs super tender and enjoyable, and it doesn't really give us the ability to cook them really, really hard on the grill and still get a tender result. That's where the kiwi comes in. Kiwi has an enzyme that is 2 to 4 times as potent as what's in the pears, and it just kind of supercharges the tenderization quality of the marinade, and I think gives us a much better result. From here, I'm just gonna pop on the lid and spin this until this marinade is super smooth. And after about a minute on high speed, you can see it's really, really smooth. I think it's really important to get this extra smooth just because the fruit has a bunch of fiber in it and the ginger is pretty fibrous. And if it wasn't spun well, it wouldn't really hold the fat and water together. And then when you go to put this on the grill, a bunch of water is gonna leach out and it could make flare-ups and stuff that's just not pro. So spin it a little longer than you think. It's got that signature Korean salty sweet thing with lots of sesame flavor, which is also very Korean. And then the pear brings this fruity, estery, almost like white wine quality. It's just very aromatic. Also, if you can't find Asian pears, sub in regular Bartlett pears. Just make sure that they're super ripe and when you poke them, they've got a little bit of softness to them. And if you somehow can't find kiwis, which I find hard to believe, you could also sub in 1 to 2 grams of off-the-shelf powdered meat tenderizer. 25 grams of pineapple would also work because the the enzyme that's in pineapple is called bromelain, and that's the stuff that they put in that powdered meat tenderizer. It's really, really freaking powerful though, and it can make meat pretty mushy if you use too much of it or if it sits on the meat for too long. So stay frosty and don't use very much. That tastes really sick. Okay, now we gotta marinate these beefs. To do that, I've got a little brownie pan here and I'm just gonna pour in a layer on the bottom and spread that out a bit. Then I'm gonna layer in these short ribs, 3 or 4 wide, depending on how much I can get fit in there. More marinade goes over top. And you don't have to do this. You can just spread it around with a spoon, but I've got a brush here. I'm gonna try and get that evenly covered as best I can. I'm using this brownie pan just because it's a good vessel for holding all of this extra moisture around the meat. And these have kind of a unique, long, thin form factor that I think isn't particularly well suited to a Ziploc baggie, which is the vessel I would normally use for marinating meats. If you were to throw all these in a Ziploc baggie, it would work, but the nature of it getting tossed around and folded and stuff, the meat can actually get dislodged from the bone, and that's gonna make it significantly harder to keep it organized and properly cooked on the grill because the meat's gonna be flopping everywhere. And that's a bummer. So layer 2 of the meat's gonna go in now, and then I'm gonna pour over the rest of the marinade and just slather it all over everything. We want as much coverage as humanly possible. Ooh, 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 that looks nasty. There we go. From here, I'm just gonna cover this with a lid and throw it in the fridge to marinate for 12 to 24 hours. Now, I know some of you guys out there are just degenerate scrubs and you can't plan ahead. That's okay. You can make this same day, but I would say give yourself at least 4 hours of marination time. If you were to put these on the grill right now, they wouldn't be that tender and they really wouldn't be that flavorful. And a lot of the marinade would just slough right off and burn. So it's just not really an ideal outcome. Now, while that marinates, I'll quickly want to thank Factor for sponsoring this vid. If you somehow haven't heard of them before, Factor is a meal subscription service that sends fresh, never frozen pre-made meals directly to your door that can be heated up in about 2 minutes. Now, this is a true story. Recently, I was feeling a little bit heavy from eating too much comfort food and high calorie snacks and desserts and stuff like that. And I wanted to lose a couple pounds because I'm going on a Mediterranean vacation over the summer and I'm going to be shirtless and I want to look, you know, good. So I need to track my calories for that. And Factor actually makes that super easy because they list all the macros on the side along with the calorie count. And this way I can have something that's delicious and nutritious and I don't have to make a mess. I don't need to meal prep. I don't need to go to the grocery store. And I don't need to do a bunch of dishes. It's very easy and it makes losing weight or just eating healthier so much more simple. Factor has over 100 different rotating weekly meal options. Plus they've got salads, breakfast, shakes, and everything here is made for taste and nutrition. For lunch today, I'm having the chimichurri filet with shrimp, and it's delicious. I've also been dabbling with Factor's Daily Greens, which is a once daily greens drink that includes actual vegetables and tons of nutrients. So if you guys want to try Factor, go to factor75.com and use my code Lagerstrom 5FDG to get 50% off your first box plus free Factor Greens powder. Again, that's factor75.com and the code is Lagerstrom 5FDG. It's a little specific, but the link is in the description. Thank you, Factor. The next day, when I pull these out of the fridge, you can see the short ribs. Well, they look kind of like pasty and brown, but the tenderization enzymes in the kiwi and the pear have done their job, so these are gonna be nice and tendy, and the salt and sugar in the marinade has kind of brined the meat, so it's gonna stay juicy on the grill. From here, I'm gonna take these outside where I've got my grill nice and preheated. All right, my grill has been preheating for a while now, and it's at 500 to 600 F. Pretty hot. You wanna kind of overheat it a little bit because we're putting a lot of cold, wet meat on there and it's gonna drop the temperature pretty significantly. Once I've got my grill nice and hot, I am gonna come back and spray it liberally with pan spray. Do this from a distance so you don't blow your hand off, or just wipe olive oil with a paper towel. That'd be a safer way to do it. You need a lot of lubrication on these grates because this is very sugary meat and it can get stuck pretty badly. From here, I'm just gonna lay these short ribs down on the grill. You kind of want to do this quickly so that the grill doesn't drop too much temperature. On this Weber Spirit in particular, we always have a hard time filming because it cools down kind of fast. And also you probably want to let a little bit of the marinade drip off, but you don't have to be really meticulous with it. That's going to get glazed up and stuck to the meat pretty quickly. For me, the hot part of the grill is the top part, so I'm trying to bias these towards the top 2/3 here if I can. Keep this marinade close by the way. From here, I'm gonna close the lid and give this about a 3 to 4 minute rip over medium-high heat. Let's say maybe a 7 out of 10 in terms of heat intensity. And I wanna get the first side nicely charred while getting a little bit of a caramelization on that sugar. But if your grill is really, really hot, you're gonna need to check back every minute or so just to make sure things aren't getting burnt because there's a lot of sugar and it can get away from you pretty fast. After about 3 to 4 minutes, I can smell a little bit of charredness, maybe some burnt sugar, or at least caramelizing sugar. Ooh, man. That looks so good. We got a little singed right there. That's okay. That's life, baby. That's Vita. Oh, man. It's got this really reddish brown color, good char from the grill grates. And they should release pretty easily because we sprayed this liberally with olive oil. But if they're sticking, that's a good sign to let them keep rolling for a few more minutes so that they can release. They eventually will release. As you can see, we've got some really good color over here. This front right was a little hotter than I wanted, but actually this short rib from this bone over is mostly fat, so we got away with it. Okay, once I've got these flipped over, I'm gonna come and brush these with some extra marinade. And if you're wondering, hey man, there was raw meat in that, isn't that unsafe to eat? Not really, because this grill is 450, 500 degrees at this point, and this marinade is gonna get pasteurized by that heat almost instantaneously. If you're weird about it though, you can save some of this marinade, set aside maybe 10% of it when you spin it up originally, and that way it won't be tainted with meat. Okay, from here, I'm gonna grill these short ribs for another, let's say 6 to 8 minutes, but I'm gonna turn the heat down a little bit to Korean barbecue restaurant temperature, which is probably about medium heat. Since we've got that nice grill flavor from here, all we wanna do is kind of lacquer up the meat with some of that caramelized sugar in the marinade. So we're gonna cook it a little bit more gently now, and we're gonna flip it probably 3 or 4 more times. It's probably a good idea to move the short rib that was in the super hot spot out of that place so it doesn't get roasted again. You wanna keep the intensity of heat relatively high, but you don't wanna burn them. Kind of just use your judgment here. Okay, once these are glazed up, I'm gonna close the lid and check back in maybe 2 more minutes. When I check back, it's time to assess where we're at char-wise. And, ooh man, reddish, mahogany, golden brown, a little bit of charring as well. It's sizzling in its own rendering beef fat. Absolutely beautiful. Now a quick call out I wanna make here as I flip these for the second time is that these are really hard to overcook because we marinated them. And the enzymes that are in the pear and the kiwi are gonna keep these things juicy. It's gonna keep them nice and soft. This isn't really like a steak. We're not trying to nail a perfect mid-rare temperature or anything like that. We're really just trying to render some of the beef fat out, get some char on the meat, and get the marinade kind of glazed up onto it. So you can take these pretty far. If you think about it, at a Korean barbecue restaurant, you're kind of just sitting there flipping and flipping until it looks kind of tasty. They give you meat that's been marinated to be bulletproof so you don't ruin it. And that's exactly what we have going on with this galbi here. So I'm just gonna take the rest of my marinade and brush it on side 2 here. I wanna use all of it if I can, because it's really, really tasty. Okay, this is probably the last round. I'm gonna give this maybe another 2 to 3 minutes and we'll check back to see how they look. The one that I initially charred is looking a little dark, so I'm just gonna move this to the coolest part of the grill. And we'll check back then. Okay, the last step here is gonna require a little bit of your personal judgment. I'm gonna tell you to pull off the pieces when you feel like they're done, and that basically means they've reached optimal beef fat renderedness and the sugar has been caramelized. So for example, this piece is looking really good and done, but I think these pieces up here probably want a little bit more time. So I'm gonna pull this off so it doesn't get burnt, and like this one is looking pretty good as well. That looks perfect. As you can see, we got some charred sugar. It's nice and juicy looking. The marinade has been kind of glazed onto it. The backside is looking the same, so I'm gonna pull that off. That one's a yes. I'm gonna give these last 3 pieces another minute or 2. It's pretty low stakes cooking from this point. We're down to medium heat. The chance of burning is pretty low. Speaking of burning though, look how this recipe just ravages your grill. Yeah, that's not fun to clean off. The payoff of the final product is worth it, but it's gonna be giving you at least 15 minutes of, that's a loud bird. Buddy, YouTuber here. And after just about 10 to 12 minutes of total cook time, these last 3 Flanken style Korean galbi short ribs are looking absolutely fantastic. We've got a little bit of char on the sugar around the outside. They are frying in their own rendered beef fat and they smell amazing. So from here, I'm gonna pull these off the grill and we're gonna take them inside and give them a little taste. Oh man, I'm so happy. That smells really beefy in a good way. It's got a hamburger smell to it, which I really, really like. Okay, to serve these things, we're gonna let them rest for just a second. They don't need to rest forever. They're pretty thin and it's not like a steak. The juices aren't really gonna run out. They're pretty well set into the meat. But to get them ready to serve, I am gonna take some scissors and cut them into little individual bone pieces. This is how you would do it at a Korean barbecue. It gives everybody a little bone they can gnaw on. I think it's just a really fun way to eat. You can throw some sesame seeds on here, some chili flakes if you like things a little bit spicy, some chopped scallions, or maybe a little bit of marinade that you reserved that didn't have a chance to touch the raw beef. It's up to you. These are totally self-contained. They don't really need anything else. Just serve them with a pile of kimchi, some steamy rice, maybe some Korean potato salad. We haven't done that recipe yet. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do a Korean potato salad recipe. Okay, and that's a big old plate of ribs. This probably serves 6 hungry adults, and it's really easily scalable. So if you have a big party of 10 people coming over, just marinate some extra ribs and maybe 2 or 3 times the marinade recipe. Time to take a bite. First of all, my lips are glazed in rendered beef fat, and it's pleasurable. I like it. That is good. I'll tell you what, unexpectedly, the first texture you get is crunchy, crystallized sugar from it being caramelized on the outside. That's really pleasant. Then it turns into this melty, unctuous beef thing that's just takes over all your senses. And then you get that mellow, fruity pear flavor that kind of tastes like a crispy glass of white wine. You get toasted sesame, it's salty, it's sweet. Galbi is obviously delicious, but the thing that I think is not talked about enough is what a social food it is. You get these little one-biters of beef that you can eat with some crunchy kimchi, take a sip of your beer, hang out standing around the bar here talking to your friends. What's up, dude? How's your baby? You know, stuff like that. If you guys want to make this recipe, I'll throw a short version down in the description of this video. Then I'll throw a link to the long version over at my blog at brianlagerstrom.com if you really want to make it and you want to get into the nitty-gritty of all the details. As always, guys, thank you so much for your time and attention. Thank you for sticking around to the end of the video, and I'll see you in the next one.